What if I told you washing clothes for an Amish family of 12 takes 11 separate steps? Each piece of clothing passes through human hands at least 6 times. Here's the complete process from dirty laundry basket to folded and stored. Collection. Laundry day begins with collection. In a household with 12 people, dirty clothes accumulate rapidly. Each family member has a designated spot for soiled clothing. Children place their dirty garments in baskets in their bedrooms. Parents collect work clothes from the mudroom where farm gear is stored. Towels come from bathrooms. Kitchen linens gather near the sink. The mother walks through the house gathering these items into large wicker baskets. By the time she finishes, she has collected over 200 individual pieces of clothing, bedding, and linens. The baskets are heavy. She carries them to the wash area, usually a covered porch or a room off the kitchen. Sorting. Before washing begins, every item must be sorted. The mother separates whites from colors to prevent dye bleeding. Delicate items like Sunday dresses and good shirts are set aside for gentler washing. Heavy work clothes caked with mud and manure form their own pile. These require pre-soaking and harder agitation. Children's play clothes go in another stack. Bedding and towels make separate loads because of their size. The sorting process takes 30 minutes or more. Each pile is mentally calculated for how many wash cycles it will require. A family of 12 typically generates 6 to 8 full loads. Whites wash first in the hottest water. Colors follow. Work clothes go last when the wash water is already dirty. This order maximizes water use and prevents contaminating clean loads with field dirt. Water preparation. Water must be heated before washing begins. Most Amish homes do not have hot water heaters connected to their wash areas. Instead, water is heated on the wood-burning cook stove in large kettles or pots. The mother fills multiple containers with water and sets them on the stove to heat. 50 gallons or more are needed for a full day of washing. The water takes an hour or longer to reach the proper temperature. While it heats, she prepares the washing area. The wringer washer is positioned near the rinse tubs. Homemade soap is gathered. Some Amish women make their own laundry soap from lard, lye, and washing soda. Others use commercial soap powder purchased from bulk stores. The soap is graded or measured and set aside. When the water reaches a boil, it is carefully poured into the washing machine tub. Cold water is added to bring the temperature down to a level that will not damage fabrics, but is still hot enough to clean effectively. Wash cycle. The wringer washer is the centerpiece of Amish laundry day. Most families use old Maytag brand wringer washers that were manufactured in the 1950s through 1980s. These machines are no longer produced, but remain in heavy use throughout Amish communities. The washer is powered by a small diesel or gasoline engine or by a pneumatic motor connected to an air compressor. Horses do not power washing machines. That is a common misconception. The engine drives an agitator inside the tub that swishes water and clothes back and forth. The first load, usually white clothing, is placed in the hot soapy water. The agitator runs for 10 to 15 minutes, churning the clothes to loosen dirt. The mother monitors the wash, occasionally using a wooden stick to push down items that float to the surface. When the wash cycle finishes, she stops the agitator. Now begins the manual labor. Each piece of clothing must be lifted from the wash water and fed through the wringer. The wringer consists of 2 rubber rollers that press together tightly. As fabric passes between them, water is squeezed out. First rinse. Adjacent to the wringer washer sit 2 large galvanized tubs filled with cold rinse water. These tubs are waist-high and hold 15 to 20 gallons each. After a piece of clothing passes through the wringer, it drops into the first rinse tub. The mother submerges it, swishes it around to remove soap residue, then lifts it out and feeds it through the wringer again. This time, the wringer is positioned to squeeze water into the second rinse tub. The process is repetitive and physical. Lift from wash water, feed through wringer, submerge in rinse water, lift from rinse water, feed through wringer again. Each action requires bending, lifting, and arm strength. Wet clothing is heavy. A soaked pair of work pants can weigh 8 to 10 pounds. A wet quilt weighs significantly more. After an hour of feeding clothes through the wringer, the mother's arms ache and her hands are wrinkled from constant water exposure. The wringer itself poses danger. If fingers get too close to the rollers, they can be pulled in and crushed. Most Amish women have stories of getting fingers pinched or know someone who suffered a broken finger or worse from the wringer. A release bar allows the rollers to separate quickly in emergencies, but injuries still happen. Second rinse. The second rinse tub serves as the final cleaning stage before clothes are ready to hang. This rinse water is cleaner than the first because most soap was already removed in the initial rinse. For white loads, bluing is added to this second rinse. Bluing is a blue dye that counteracts the yellow tint that develops in white fabrics over time. It makes whites appear brighter and fresher. A small amount of liquid bluing is poured into the rinse water, turning it pale blue. White shirts, sheets, and undergarments soak briefly in this bluing rinse before being wrung out a final time. The bluing does not actually clean the fabric. It is purely cosmetic, creating the illusion of whiter whites. After the bluing rinse, items pass through the wringer one last time. By now, each piece of clothing has been handled multiple times. Lifted from the wash tub, fed through the wringer into the first rinse, lifted from the first rinse. Fed through the wringer into the second rinse, lifted from the second rinse, fed through the wringer into a basket, 6 separate handlings per item. For 200 pieces of laundry, that means 1,200 individual lifts, feeds, and manipulations. The work is monotonous, but cannot be rushed. Each piece must be thoroughly rinsed, or soap residue will remain and irritate skin. Final wring. After the second rinse, clothes go through the wringer for the third and final time. This last wringing removes as much water as possible before hanging. The more water removed now, the faster clothes will dry on the line. The wringer applies significant pressure. Fabric emerges flattened and damp, but not dripping. This final wrung load drops into a clean basket, lined with cloth to prevent dirt contamination. The basket fills quickly. When full, it is carried outside to the clotheslines. Meanwhile, the next load of dirty clothes enters the wash water. The same water is used for multiple loads. Whites wash in fresh, hot, soapy water. When the white load finishes, colored clothes go into the same wash water, which is now slightly cooler and grayer. After colors, work clothes wash in water that looks like mud. This sequential use of water is practical and efficient. Heating 50 gallons of water takes significant time and fuel. Using the same water for several loads conserves resources. The rinse water is also reused for several loads before being dumped and refilled. By mid-morning, the mother has completed 3 or 4 loads. 50 to 75 items have been washed, rinsed, and wrung. But the work is far from finished. Those items now wait in baskets to be hung on clotheslines. And there are still 4 more loads to wash. Line hanging. Hanging laundry is where the physical labor shifts from arms and hands to shoulders and back. The clotheslines are strung across the yard, stretched between posts or trees. Some Amish homes have pulley systems that allow one end of the line to remain near the porch while the other extends far into the yard. The mother loads clean, wet clothes into another basket and carries it outside. Wet laundry is heavy. A full basket can weigh 40 to 50 pounds. She sets the basket near the clothesline and begins pinning items. Each piece is shaken to remove wrinkles, then pinned to the line with wooden clothespins. Shirts are hung by the shoulders, pants by the waistband, dresses by the hem, so they hang straight. Towels and sheets are folded over the line and pinned at both ends. The pinning motion is repeated hundreds of times. Reach into the basket, pull out an item, shake it, lift it to the line, pin it. Reach for the next item. The line fills quickly. When one line is full, she moves to the next. A large laundry day requires multiple clotheslines. Some families have 6 or 8 lines strung across their yards. By early afternoon, the yard is covered with flapping laundry. White sheets billow in the breeze. Dark pants hang in neat rows. Children's dresses and shirts create colorful patterns against the sky. The sight is distinctive. A yard full of laundry signals to the community that this household is keeping up with its responsibilities. Drying weight. Once hung, laundry must dry. Drying time depends entirely on weather. On a hot, sunny day with low humidity and a steady breeze, clothes can dry in 4 to 6 hours. On humid summer days with no wind, drying takes 8 hours or more. Winter drying is the most challenging. Clothes hung on outdoor lines in freezing temperatures will freeze solid. They eventually dry through a process called sublimation, where ice turns directly to vapor without melting first. But this can take all day or even multiple days. Some Amish families bring frozen laundry inside to finish drying near the wood stove. Others hang laundry in basements or unused upstairs rooms during winter. Indoor drying takes longer because air circulation is limited. Damp clothes hanging in a closed room can develop a musty smell if not fully dried. Rain is the enemy of laundry day. If rain threatens while clothes are on the line, everything must be gathered quickly and brought inside. Damp clothes are rehung indoors or laid across furniture to air dry. If rain catches the wash before it dries, the entire load may need to be washed again because dirt splatters from the ground onto clean clothes. This is why Amish women watch the weather carefully. Laundry day is scheduled for days when the forecast shows sun and low humidity. While clothes dry, the mother returns to the wash area to finish the remaining loads. The process continues. Wash, rinse twice, wring 3 times. Hang. By mid-afternoon, all loads are complete and hanging. Collection and folding. By late afternoon, the first loads hung in the morning are dry and ready to collect. The mother returns to the clotheslines with empty baskets. She unpins each item and folds it before placing it in the basket. Folding at the line prevents wrinkles and saves time later. Towels are folded into neat rectangles, shirts are buttoned and smoothed, pants are creased along their seams. Dresses are folded with care to avoid crushing the fabric. The unpinning and folding process takes nearly as long as the hanging did. Each item must be handled individually. The clothespins are collected and stored in a bag hanging from the line. They will be needed again next week. The folded laundry returns to the house. Now comes the sorting and distribution. Clothing for each family member must be separated and put away in the correct room. Sheets and pillowcases go to the linen closet, towels to the bathroom, kitchen linens to the pantry. The mother enlists help from older daughters for this task. Each child's clothing is stacked and carried to their bedroom. Church clothes hang in closets. Everyday wear goes in drawers or on shelves. The entire process from collection to final storage takes 12 to 14 hours. Some of that time is passive while clothes dry. But the active labor, washing, wringing, hanging, folding, and putting away, consumes 8 to 10 hours of continuous physical work. By evening, the mother is exhausted. Her hands are raw from handling wet fabric and clothespins. Her back aches from bending over tubs and reaching up to clotheslines, but the laundry is clean and put away. The family has fresh clothes for the week. 11 steps separate dirty laundry from clean clothing stored in its proper place. Collection, sorting, water preparation, washing, first rinse, second rinse, final wringing, line hanging, drying, collection, folding, and storage. Each step requires manual labor. Each piece of clothing passes through human hands at least 6 times. For a family of 12, generating 200 pieces of laundry per week, that means 1,200 individual handlings. The work is exhausting. It is repetitive. It is physically demanding in ways that people who have never done it cannot comprehend. Modern washing machines and dryers have eliminated nearly all of this labor. Load the washer, press a button, transfer to the dryer, press another button, fold and put away. The entire process takes 2 hours of minimal physical effort spread across a day. An Amish mother spends 8 to 10 hours of hard manual labor to accomplish the same task. She lifts hundreds of pounds of wet clothing. She feeds every piece through a dangerous wringer multiple times. She hangs 200 items on outdoor lines regardless of weather. She collects, folds, and distributes everything by hand. This is why laundry day is called hard labor. It is not an exaggeration. It is an accurate description of the physical toll the work demands.